Hey, this is Luke with the Android Guys Review Podcast. I'm here with Scott. Hey, Scott.
Hi, Luke. How are you today?
All right. How are you?
I'm doing well.
All right. You are going to give us your thoughts on a product or a couple products.
Yeah, two products today.
All right. You're going to give us a 2-for-1. What do you got?
I have two cases from OtterBox.
All right.
So, if you've had a smartphone at any point over the last 12 to 14 years,
Yes.
and you're looking to protect your phone,
Yes.
and you want like really rugged, I don't want to think about it. If this thing falls off my hip, I want to know that I can just pick it up and be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
OtterBox is usually the brand that rises to the top of the list for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because they do it well.
Yep.
And they have, they're back again with the same stuff, but I'm reviewing these for the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro.
Yeah.
So if you have one of those phones, and I know that both of those are pretty popular this time of year, or this generation, the Pixel.
Sure.
We have the Symmetry, and we also have the Defender Pro.
Okay.
We'll talk about the Symmetry first.
Okay.
And the one that I have here is clear, and these are priced $50.
Okay.
And it is a clear, and they call it a thin case, low profile case.
Yeah.
When you put it on your phone, it's not as thin as like a gel skin or like some of those, but it doesn't add a ton of thickness to it. So I would say that it does qualify as a thinner case, especially when you look at other models like the Commuter and the Defender Pro.
Right.
This is on the thinner side.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it doesn't have OtterBox toughness.
Right.
So it's a one-piece thing that you basically snap on. It has very little play when you go to put it on, but it works well enough to just get it on, and then you don't have to think about it. Another option instead of the clear is a Stardust glitter.
Okay.
Which kind of looks like a clear, but it has like a little bit of flecks of tiny pieces of sparkly glitter in there.
So there's a little shimmer to it.
Mm-hmm. So that'll stand out nice. I know, like sometimes with phones, Samsung in particular, that go with like a purple or a pink or something, and lends to that kind of aesthetic.
Sure.
The Pixel 6 is a more aesthetically pleasing design, so I don't know. I would assume that works well for it.
Sure.
But the case is going to be the same either way.
Yeah.
This is a case that allows for wireless charging.
Nice.
So it is, when you feel it and tap it, you can hear it's pretty tough.
Yeah. But
it doesn't hinder any wireless charging.
Nice.
So if you put that on there, you don't have to worry about it slowing down or getting a bad connection. And it also has a raised edges around the front of it. So if you're the kind of person that wants to put your phone face down and kind of not look at it while you're at lunch or at work, you can do that. There's a raised edge around that. And there's also a kind of like an enclosure that kind of wraps the camera.
Right, because on the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, you have this camera
bar
essentially. Yeah.
And as we've seen in some of the other cases, that bar does kind of stay exposed.
Right. Especially on the edges.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this kind of comes up to kind of as close as it can get to the camera sensors without covering them.
Nice.
So, this is the Symmetry. Now, this is triple tested or 3x tested to military standard.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a fancy way of saying, it's designed to take drops in stride. I would say, in terms of rugged, I would feel very safe with this on my phone.
Yeah.
And it's because it's clear, it also lets you keep the color of your phone that you picked out.
Yeah.
For some people, that's a big deal.
Sure.
This allows you to do that. That's the Symmetry. I scored this as an average of 4.17.
Pretty good.
So it's pretty good, and that's largely a combination of things from 3.5 to 5 across the board.
Nice.
Build quality, I would say, is a 4.
Yep.
Where it does get 3.5 is features and functions. It's just Nothing super spectacular,
Sure.
but 3.5 is well above average.
Yeah. Well, the fact that it still gives you wireless charging, that's and military grade drop protection.
It's peace of mind.
Yeah.
But it's not like super flashy.
Sure.
Or there's no, and I'll talk about the next model. There are a couple of other features that kind of make it score higher.
Sure.
This one also gets a 5 though for warranty.
Nice.
Because it's a lifetime warranty.
Oh man.
So, and I think that's one of the reasons people tend to go back to OtterBox so much.
Yeah.
Is they know what they get is peace of mind.
Yeah.
And you might put something on your phone where it feels like this thing's really thick or bulky, but if you put it on day one, you just become used to that.
Yeah.
So when you move from one phone to the next, the phones don't really change how big it holds in your hand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 4.17 is the average, and that was across setup, performance, price, warranty, build quality, so forth.
Yeah.
Defender Pro is different animal altogether.
Yeah.
This one comes in black, and it also comes in a Fort Blue, I think is the name.
Okay.
This is the big boy.
Yeah.
This is the one that is really the one that you have multiple layers of defense.
Yeah.
Even putting it on is kind of like a 2-step process.
Yeah.
And then there's also a holster. So you have kind of extra security in place here.
Sure.
So you put on the first layer and then you kind of like snap it into place. It does make the phone feel pretty big.
Yeah.
If you've not gone with something this durable or dependent, you're gonna notice that.
Sure.
But it's not like it's unwieldy.
Right.
4X tested to military standard. So this thing has been designed to outlast or outperform even the Symmetry. One of the other things is the back of it. You have the option, if you wanted to use it, the holster can also kind of work. You can use it as a kickstand.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, I mean, with these phones, the 6, you're looking at, 6.3 inch screen, I believe, 6.4.
Yeah.
And if you go to 6 Pro or any other phones of, current model, you're going to get into, approaching 7-inch display. So if you're on a lunch break, you want to watch YouTube videos or you want to catch a video on, let's say, a flight, download Netflix videos offline, you can do that. You have, you can turn that thing landscape and
you have a built-in way to kind of kick back and relax.
Yeah. The Defender Pro is really their way of protecting your phone all around. And another thing you can see on the bottom is there's a little port cover.
Yeah.
So
that's always been the thing that about the Defender series that I've liked about OtterBox is that it's just, especially when I was working construction a lot.
Yeah.
Little dust or sawdust particles or whatever, you're protected from that. And
well, I have a friend who, when he buys his phones, this is his question to me is, does OtterBox make a Defender?
Right.
And as some of these phones come out, I don't know ahead of time if OtterBox will support it.
Sure.
And he's tried other phones and he will switch because he does not get the Defender protection.
Yeah.
And he has, for people who are like landscape or mowing, there's constant tiny little dust and pollen and things that are out there. So that stuff finds a way in.
Yeah.
This little port cover kind of protects that from happening. He has dropped his on his own like riding mower and like the blade, not the blade, but the belt kind of like burned its way into the case a little bit, but kept the phone okay. It did not, I don't want to say it will withstand commercial grade lawnmowers.
Right, yeah, sure.
But it didn't, I mean, his phone wasn't shredded on impact.
Right.
Which is quite possible.
That's pretty impressive.
What happens with others.
Right.
But this one, if you look at it, you can tell it, it has this kind of mean look to it. The Fort Blue is kind of nice. I don't know if I would call it like cornflower to describe it to somebody.
Yeah.
It's closer to like a gray blue, almost.
It's like a little slate.
Yeah. It's not blue in the sense of traditional blue, and it's certainly not sky blue.
Right.
But I would say it works for, it's a gender neutral color.
Right. And then the plastic on the surround is like a creamish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're looking for a phone, and the other thing with these too is they protect with the buttons. There's
still some give.
You still have some give.
Mm-hmm.
Where I've seen in other brands, once you put something on there, I don't know if the volume's going up or down. I can't tell by feeling it.
It will still affect the volume. Usually, I haven't seen a case in a very long time that kind of makes those buttons on the side of your phone not work.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them are so rigid that there's no response. You don't know if you're actually pressing or not.
Yeah.
And man, OtterBox, like we said, they've been in the game a very long time. I remember working, selling cell phones, and part of, selling an OtterBox case was tossing your phone across the store to somebody else.
Yep.
And everybody was in on it, You
drop it?
Yeah, you drop it on purpose.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh yeah, I'll catch it. And then you miss, and customers look and be like, oh my gosh, It's like, no, that's why I have this OtterBox, and toss it everywhere.
Yep. Yeah, it's I can see why people go back to them. And like I said, my friend, when he reviews when he gets his phones, he specifically looks for the Defender series. I'm like, dude, the Symmetry is really strong. He's like, it's got to be Defender for me. So this is the Defender Pro.
Yeah.
And it's only $10 more.
That's not bad.
So it's $60.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I gave this a score of 4.6.
Nice.
So it leans forward on a lot of things. Build quality, it's a 5. It's also a 5 just for performance, kind of hand in hand.
Yeah.
When you talk about a case. And then again, lifetime warranty.
Nice.
So those are 5s across those 3. And then you've got 4s and above on price, setup. It is what it is. There's no real way around.
Yeah, it's the Defender series it's a little bit to put on, but once you get it on there, it's not coming off.
Yeah, you're not taking it on off.
Yeah, so you have to peel off like an outer rubber shell, and then there's a hard plastic, kind of a clamshell design. There's a front and a back that you snap together on your phone, and then you put that rubber back around it.
Yep.
But it's like a hard cast rubber.
Yeah.
So it's not like flimsy like other, rubber gel cases.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the Defender Pro. That again is available in black and Fort Blue. So high marks for.
Now, does the Defender still give you the wireless charge or not?
Yes. I believe it even says so on the box.
Let's see here. Yeah, wireless charging compatible.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's something that I think, and if you look at the case, you wouldn't anticipate that.
I'm surprised by that, but that's awesome.
But yeah, you can actually do the wireless charging, which is nice because if you want to keep that port closed, and then you just rely on the wireless for everything.
Yep.
There you go. So that's it for me today.
Sweet. Thanks, Scott.
All right. Thank you.